Hey, you guys, and welcome to the Steele Wars Hyperchat. It is Monday, the 28th of September, 2020. This is a Mando-less Monday. And for those watching, I got a little, he's on this side, little Yoju here, if you will. Let's get rid of him. Shoot, just buzz off. Okay, he's gone. Hey to everyone in the chat. Pretty low-key day of Star Wars news, so I'm going to do a bunch of fun, random stuff that is in the news, and we'll follow up on the heated debate if that is Rosario Dawson depicted on that Ahsoka FX Hasbro saber. We've got a lot of feedback. Welcome everyone that is watching either the live stream or on delay on Periscope, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, or on podcast. The Monday version, we live stream every day. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Australian time, Eastern Standard Time. But Monday's show goes on all the podcast feeds, so they can catch up on what's going, and to remind them to check out the YouTube all through the week. However, if you're a patron on the $1 or up tier, you get audio of all the YouTube content, all the hyper chats throughout the week. If you're listening in a car and that is easier, you get, it works out 5 hours at least of hyper chat content a week, it seems. This one might be a Braxton straight in. Is it Dawson? Nah, son. Nah, boo. So let's check out what is happening in let's go to the Rosario Dawson thing first. Let's get that out of the way. Now, you with Crest Fresh on the Hyperchat reviewing all the new Hasbro stuff. We talked about this, and on the FX Saber, there is a new depiction of Rosario Dawson, of Ahsoka Tano that looks suspiciously like her. Now, some people have chimed in. The chin is one of the big selling points, and some people are saying the chin looks weird because it's on the box edge and it creases over. But let's go. I put up a poll, you guys. I love a poll. You guys should know that by now. Is that Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano in The Mandalorian? And 17.6% said yes, most definitely, which doesn't sound that good for my case. 28% say no way that it is, but 54.4% say, maybe. Now, I like this one. Nick Field, good gift work there with the maybe. That's pretty tight gift. I love a good gift. What do we got? Is this something to... so we've got some comments. Let's see the YouTube comments. Jim Grote, who's a regular commenter, and I love interacting with everyone's comments. So if you're watching on delay, can't use the live chat, comment, and generally I try to get back to everyone, or at least definitely read them. And thumbs up, thumbs down. Give my ruling. Oh, okay. Duncan Duncan said, speaking of Dawson, I just watched Clerks 2. What a terrible sequel. Oh, man. Is that when they worked at the milkshake place? Is that with the Moo thing? I'm not sure, but that was fairly forgettable. Sean Bauer says, I think you're right, and I think the artist rendition... I like the artist rendition theory. Also note that the pic has her face wrapping around the side of the box, which could account for the chin. Neil McBee also says the chin could be explained by the packaging. Jonas Balino says the headpiece she's wearing and the costume are from season 7. In Rebels, her look changes. It could be that, these sabers are from back pre-Rebels, that they de-aged her a bit for this, but they're using off that. It's remarkably like her. And either way, even if it's not, it does prove that it's pretty good casting because it looks so much like her. That way, like there. Anyway. Chili Spartan says, I'm on the fence about Ahsoka. It might be Rosario Dawson. It might not be. If you look at her two models from the Clone Wars and Rebels, she has a flat chin. Her picture on the package actually reminds me of the art from the Legends novels that had artist renditions of the original cast and the new characters. If Ahsoka has brown eyes in live action, I would be triggered and make a skit from Kip's Film Melbourne. Yeah, I don't know. Like we had... what was his name in Rogue One? Oh man, I am blanking on my Rogue One knowledge. He ran in the Resistance. Help me out in the chat, everyone. What was the guy in? He had a walking stick. He was in Clone Wars, but his eyes changed. So yeah, maybe they'll use. Also, they might use contacts. I don't know. To be honest, I'm just not a bigger fan of the details to even like I would lose the trivia on what color Ahsoka's eyes are, or I would just guess. And Tactical Droid brings up an interesting point. Rosario is 7 inches shorter than adult Ahsoka Tano. Audience may not buy it if her makeup doesn't look too close to animated Ahsoka enough. And hey, man, I'm a pretty hardcore fan. I'm not a hardcore Ahsoka fan, but I'm a pretty hardcore Star Wars fan. And her height would not wear into it. Thank you, one Marvel fan. You get on the screen. Everyone's going through. Josh Chapman, Saw. Morgan, Saw. Marvel 1 fan, Saw Gerrera. Saw Gerrera's eyes changed. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate that very, very much. So, there was one other thing that someone sent me. Is this going to come up here? No, that's for later. Someone did send me images of past Black Series Ahsoka art, and it looks so different. If someone can, in the chat, find me a photo of that, maybe Black Series, the past Ahsoka, which like very different face. So there has been a shift. There has been an Ahsoka shift at Hasbro. Who is behind it? Some might. Morgan, you posted it. How do I get to it, Morgan? We'll come back. We'll come back to that. Work out how to get to me. Maybe post it in the chat. I hope that would come up. But we'll keep things moving. And while Morgan does that, we'll go to pops. There is pops. There is new pops. There's always pops, and they keep on popping. They just can't stop it. Ahsoka Tano, this is from StarWars.com, and more return with the new Funko Pop bobbleheads. Exclusive reveal. Bobbleheads, whatever you need. And they got an article you can check out if you're a Funko head. Funko senior designer digs into the details of what makes the new collectibles from the seventh and final season of Star Wars: The Clone Wars different from previous incarnations. So we've got Ahsoka with her 2 sabers. I can't tell if she's based off Rosario Dawson or not. I don't think so. So there's that. Ahsoka, there's Darth Maul. Looking pretty cool. Cute Darth Maul is cute, and I like that. There's Bo-Katan has got a pop. Ooh, interesting. Wrecker, which a Mandalorian of some type that I don't recall at all. Mandalorian Super Commando. Gar Saxon, who always reminds me of like a WWE wrestler. It's like Gar Saxon tonight's teaming up with Dolph Ziggler. It matches perfectly. And that's it. I thought they had a bigger picture of this, of a bunch of them, but I might be tripping. So there is that. Let's check the chat because we might have some feedback here from Morgan. On Instagram, I sent in message. Oh, but now I've got to get to my Instagram. All right, just give us 2 secs. How do I get out of this? Log out. Switch accounts. Oh, damn it. I might just look it up on my phone and put it up to you. That might be easier. Is Wrecker in the Bad Batch? I don't know. The pop versions of them, I just don't take like a lot of notice of the costumes in the animation. It's just not what does it for me. All right, Morgan, coming through with the goods here. I'll put this up on my phone. So look at that. That is substantially different. I'll see if I can get up an image of if I got an Ahsoka. I don't know if that will. So there's that. I've got to remove this popped deal down the bottom. So there's that. I can't. Can I get them both at the same time? No, I can't. So there's her, and then there's her. Let's see if I can click it. See? Quite different. Thank you. Probably should have done that a little bit more adequately on the screen. But, you know, you do what you got to do. Oh, Braxton says pops aren't usually bobbleheads. They are for Star Wars and Marvel because Hasbro has the figure rights. Oh, so all Star Wars pops bobbleheads. That's how much for a pop thing. I look over at I got 2 Snokes. They're both bobbleheads. But there you go. You learn something poppy every day. But confirm that with me. Confirm that, Braxton. And Morgan says that Ahsoka was just a real-life render of Season 5. Yeah, but it's different. Oh, okay. So Braxton says, yes, all Star Wars pops are bobbleheads. That's a shame. That is a shame. For me, I don't like them. Now, they're cute, but I like seeing other people have them. Like, they look cool when they're all together. And I like the 12-inch ones. But for me, I've just got no desire to involve myself. Now, this is a very I like this story. I like when people love Star Wars, and sometimes I think it's funny when people just don't like it or think about it ever again. Alec Guinness didn't like thinking about it ever again, and Keira Knightley has a Star Wars memory wipe of sorts. This is from New Music Express, NME.com. This is wow. This is. I feel so cool as a Star Wars podcaster that we're referencing NME, which was, I know, like in the 90s, I think. It was just like the sick English alternative music magazine. But Keira Knightley struggles to remember who she played in Star Wars. One of Keira Knightley's big first roles was in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, but the actor hardly remembers anything about the character. Speaking in a new interview, Knightley, who plays Sabe, Queen Amidala's double in the 1999 movie, failed to even recall her character's name. And then a journalist said, "Your character survived, whereas Padme did not." A journalist at comingsoon.net said to Knightley, who replied, "Wait a minute, who do I play? Was I not Padme?" After being informed that she played Sabe, Knightley replied, "Do you know, I saw the film once. I think I was 12 when I did it, and it came out And it came out, and I saw it the year after, and I've never seen it again. So I played Sabe, and she didn't die. Okay. Knightley was then asked if there'd been any discussions about her reprising the role of the new installment of the franchise. She then says, reprising the character I can't even remember the name of? No, there hasn't, she said, laughing. Excellent. And then it says, in an interview with Total Film, Knightley admitted that she spent so long sitting in the background of shots that she often fell asleep on The Phantom Menace. Well, she was young. But, and I read like sort of like a film critic or something on Twitter saying, oh, you know, way to not, you know, you should have said that you'd be open to and you'd love to do it again. And it's like, but she's obviously not. She doesn't. She's let it go, which is fine. Now, why she's so sort of whatever about it could be explained from this clip I found. This is from the Edward Norton show, Keira Knightley in 2014, BBC America. And I will just get up this screen with sound, which takes an extra click. But this was super funny. I loved it.
Big. I mean, what a big. How old were you? Were you 12 when you got the Star Wars movie?
Star Wars, I was 12. Yeah.
That's incredible. We've got you in Star Wars. Now you play.
Style.
You played Natalie Portman's double.
Yes. I didn't know what I was doing when I got it because they just said that nobody gives you scripts. It's all very secret. So they just kind of kept on shoving me forward, and I'd be dressed in exactly the same thing that she was dressed in, but nobody told me why. So actually, when we got again, I never knew when it was me and when it wasn't me because sometimes in the kind of wide shots they'd use me instead of her because she wanted to go home early. So I'd kind of come forward.
Sorry, can I ask? I haven't seen this film.
This is the best.
Are you playing her double? Meaning in the fictional world, you're playing her double?
I don't know.
You were people wanted to kill that Portman. They would kill.
I don't know much about decoys and stuff, but I wouldn't have them stood next to each other. That's an assassin's dream. Where is she? I want to shoot her. You can't miss her. Stood next to the girl with the white face. It's totally backfired, hasn't it?
But I would have thought, because here's the thing. So you do look incredibly like Natalie Portman. You would think that would be the end of your career, in that, you know what I mean, in that we've got one of those already.
Yeah, done. Yeah. I guess I grew about 2 feet taller.
Is that what?
Just a stretched version, really.
The Graham Norton Show.
There you go. The Graham Norton Show for a bit of sizzle at the end. Yeah, Graham, there's plenty of roles for brunette white ladies. Trust me, especially in Star Wars. Wow. There's there's Leia, Padme, Jin, Rey. It's Star Wars has got quite the Force has got quite a type. So yeah, that's Keira Knightley, who I'm a fan of. She is cool. In collecting, I had this other little thing that I found. Paul Duncan that wrote the Star Wars archives for Taschen Books, which is I think it's like $160. Like if you have got the means, it's got interviews with George Lucas that he did, like new ones, and I think they're doing a smaller one pretty soon, so I might pick that one up. But yeah, the 160 or whatever it was. There's one of those a Taschen bookshop about 5 minutes from my house as well. So I look past and they do all the giant, beautiful hardcover books about movies and pop culture. It's so good. But he's beginning to sizzle his archives on the prequels, episode 1 to 3. And this little sizzle quote that he came up with, I thought it was pretty sick. Natalie Portman says, we felt pretty stupid biting into fruit that didn't exist. This is on Attack of the Clones. But it was fun to shoot. George told us to improvise some of the dialogue, and it got inappropriate very quickly. Woo! Pre-order the Star Wars archives, episodes 1 to 3. So I love it. little tidbits of stuff. I want to see those deleted scenes. Like, release the fruit cut. Come on. Help me out. Help me out. In other news, good news for collectors with $350 to deal out in Star Wars toys, because the Hasbro Vintage Collection Razor Crest has already been backed with 6,000 in just the first 24 hours. So that is kudos Hasbro. You know, people will complain about people do complain about the price and stuff, but the minimum amount that they needed to agree this was worth it was 6,000, and they got that in one day. So, you know, I'm often quite critical of Hasbro and Star Wars, how they're doing stuff and their release schedule and the like, but home run on the first swing with the Razor Crest. And they let us know, as an added bonus for backing the Razor Crest in just over 24 hours, Hasbro Star Wars is offering a tier unlock if the project can reach 8,000 backers, which it will easily do. Each individual backer will receive an escape pod add-on accessory pictured below and here for reference. And, cool. So he gets a little escape pod that clicks into the roof with a little roof thing that clicks over that. So that is pretty sick. I wonder if that is a feature that will ever be in The Mandalorian, or that's sort of a bit of Hasbro's toyification of it. Just they had a chance to add an extra thing. So if you do back it now, they'll keep adding stretch goals, and you get added to all those stretch goals. So, you know, if that is your thing, if I had money in this COVID age, I would think about considering it. But it's a great piece, and props to anyone that is hooking that up, and congratulations to Hasbro. Another project backed. Philosophy Not a Crime says it's 500 collectors and 5,500 investors. Josh Chapman says it's $700 in Australia. But Josh, that's Australian dollars. They're nothing. What's I'll do a quick conversion of what the actual price would be. And I guess domestically, do they add on shipping domestically as well? Or is that included in the price? But 350, let's just say the exchange rate is 0.6. 350, exchange rate is 0.68. Let's just say 350 divided by 0.68. So that's 515. Ooh. All right, well, you got the shipping as well. That's sort of like, it's brutal, but you can see where it's getting added on, or I can, as someone that's not buying it. So I'm not that bothered, but I think it's rad. Hey, so I just had a few random things. We might do a few patron questions at the end that I've got tied up. And Josh says, I think the price locally from Zing, so shipping should be within Australia. Well, yeah, taking the shipping out of the equation, because shipping to Australia, guys, is brutal. So I just sort of shared this. Shooting the Galaxy, at Shooting the Galaxy on Instagram, posted up this sick pic of Pablo on the speeder bike, which I love toy collecting photos. I follow a bunch on Instagram, so when I see some good ones, they're always very impressive. I do have to say that. But yeah, I'll post up a few of these as I go. So that's just shows, if you are watching, the setup And oh my God, he just used the backdrop that came with the exclusive. This is from the Heroes of the Endor exclusive, which is like a box set with Pablo's speeder bike, Endor, Luke, Han, and Leia. And so hit him up shooting the galaxy. That is some very fine work. All right. This is just random things. Hopefully some crazy thing will happen this week or tomorrow. We'll be able to talk about that. But this is good fun. The Blockade Runner podcast got in touch with me and said, Steele, I know you're a big Succession guy, so you probably already knew this, but I just blew my own mind watching The Force Awakens. Succession on HBO. I might be on Foxtel in Australia. It's amazing. It's probably in my top 5 shows of all time. It is so good. But he just blew my own mind watching The Force Awakens and realizing the nurse who tells Chewie he's brave is Kendall and Crew's mum. Now, if you watch Succession, Kendall and Crew's mum is this English, just nasty, just says the meanest things to her children, sort of socialite. And like, I get nervous when she's in the room and I'm watching on television. So it's, this is Harda Colonia, as we're on Wikipedia, and she was the very great bedside manner, healing up Chewie's wounds. And then here she is in Succession as just the nastiest lady. So she's got range. She has got range. So that is right. Who does it say who she's played by? It doesn't. I'm sure it says it here somewhere, and I just can't see it. But she is Harriet Walter. Sorry, Harriet. Maybe that's where her name's from. Harriet. She's very, very good. And that is about it. Where are we? Oh, it's been pretty short. So let's get to some patron questions. Let's hit it over here. If you're a patron, $1 or up, you can leave a question on the latest podcast. I think we're going to do it sort of at the end of the live streams and stuff. So just put them on the live streams and I will search them out, or I might start a thread. I will start a thread. That will make it easy. I will start a thread and have it linked in this episode. So everyone who's a patron can click on that and then on the Patron app, write a little question. You guys know how to do it. Michael Nip. Let's go over to Michael here. I just started a limited series on HBO called The Third Day and was reminded how underrated Jude Law is. Oh my God. I just rewatched Gattaca the other day. Great movie. Great lo-fi sci-fi. Just terrific. Fancast Jude Law for me. Who would you like to see him play in the Star Wars universe that we haven't seen yet? Oh, you mean like an actual character, like an EU character? At first I thought you meant just like what type of character he could play. Because initially I was sort of like, it'd be rad if he was like a nasty assassin droid or something. That would be pretty... he's got that sort of English charm, but he's killing people. But fan cast Jude Law. I'm trying to think of EU characters that he could play, but it's just not happening for me. Son of Tarkin. Son of Tarkin got a son? You could play that. I don't know if the comments have got any help for me here. Oh, Josh Chapman. Yes, always with the help. He says Balding Dash Render. Josh Bishop says Cypher Diaz. Kyle Delaney. Dengar. Bang. Kyle wins. Dengar. Great one. Thank you. Helping. This is much easier with you guys doing the questions with me. And our final question, which is a very funny one, is from Brandon Baker. Now, one of our Patreon bonus shows is the Star Wars You Buy podcast, and occasionally they make their way onto YouTube, and you guys can watch them as well. Oh, John Bishop likes my young Tarkin call. Thank you, sir. So me and Hawes from Blue Harvest, we go through the Star Wars Year by Year book, and we sort of do like a bit of a year at a time, and we talk about all the articles, and we just riff about, and it leads to talking about Star Wars from all eras and Dash Render. And as it turns out, we now constantly talk about McDonald's, because I used to work at McDonald's. Hawes used to own a McDonald's. So at the end of the podcasts, we're reminiscing about McDonald's, it seems like. But if you haven't checked out Star Wars You Buy podcast, it's so fun. Like, we just laugh the whole time and tell bizarre Star Wars stories. So check it out if you're if you're on the Patreon. They're all going to be there from the $3 and up level. You get every bit of bonus content, every past episode. And one of the characters that we're always talking about on Star Wars You Buy podcast in the McDonald's section is Carl, right? Carl is, he was like the Jedi of my McDonald's. He was brought in from another McDonald's, and he was just the master. Now, neither of these men are Carl, right? Neither of them are Carl, but I use that in the YouTube to depict. He's the guy with the buns, because he was a great bun man. That's me on the grill. I look nothing like that. I look like this. Not like that. Look at that guy. This. But in the world of YouTube, he represents my memory of me in black and white. Brandon asks, what did Carl... I'm fascinated by the stories of Carl and McDonald's from the Star Wars You Buy podcast. What did Carl like best about Star Wars? If he never mentioned it, what do you think he probably liked best about Star Wars? What do you think his favorite movie would be? Hawes is going to love this. I don't remember ever talking about Star Wars with Carl. We may have. But often with Carl, strictly business, right? It's just about spinning those buns. I got to say, I reckon Carl was definitely an Empire guy, and I reckon he was Boba Fett, which is exactly like Hawes. So I think he liked TIE fighter pilots. He liked Boba Fett. He loved Empire. Didn't like the Ewoks. That's where we split. So there are little Patreon questions for the end of the show. Let's check the comments. Catherine Neen says, Carl is my favorite recurring character. Oh, I thought you're my favorite recurring character on the podcast, on the Star Wars You Buy podcast. Catherine's our head sicko, who actually reads the book along with us as we do the podcast. And then she sets up the video as well. And it's quite a vibe. Catherine knows how to consume her content. So let's wrap it up for today. We will be live streaming every day this week, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. in Australia. If you're in America, it's Monday to Friday. If you're in Australia, it is Tuesday to Saturday. That is the magic of Down Under time travel. If you want to support the podcast, please simply, if whatever you are watching or listening on, give it a thumbs up, a like. If you're on YouTube, write a comment. I will write back and have a read, as long as you're polite. And if you're on iTunes, write a sweet 5-star review. And if you want to contribute in a small financial way, consider checking out the Patreon For just $1, you get all the YouTube content as well as all our back interviews and episodes. And for $3 a month, you get everything that we've ever done, over 600 podcasts, mainly timely interviews. Hey, Director Krennic, if we're talking Rogue One, Ben Mendelsohn, been on the show, our interview, the best of times. But that's about it. It is hot in LA, and I am sweating it out under these lights today. Very little movement of air going on. But I just want to say thanks so much for joining in and listening. Check out our last week's episodes, and I've been doing little highlight clips of like big news items. We did a separate little edit just on with a few new extra things about the Ahsoka lightsaber theory, and a bunch of news items. So you can check that out in sort of like 5 to 10 minute chunks, or go back and check out the daily hyper chats. There's all the day's news, as well as just little fun tidbits and jokes and comments from people in the chat. It's the best of times. And thank you for joining us for it. Have a good 24 hours, and may that force be with you.